All right. So we're trying to get the microphone going. All right, and let me try one more time to get. You could hear me, right?
There we go.
Wait, we're gonna try this one. All right, now I think it's working. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna redo. All right, go ahead.
Welcome to the 11th annual Earth Day webcast. Earth Day is celebrated in the U.S. on April 22nd. This year it falls on a Sunday. So we're recognizing the day on Friday, April 20th.
Okay, well,
Oh, I just my house.
you're making.
All right, is it working now? All right, so unfortunately, let me try one more microphone.
Wait, we don't, is the camera the microphone?
Well, actually, the computer is a microphone right now. It's not exactly.
But now they have this
Working
version.
again. Okay, so yeah, we're working. Yes, audio is back. Yes, now good sound. Yep.
It's good. It's like audio. Oh, now we have the blue speaker here. Oh, this is-
We'll try this.
Actually, it is called the snowball.
And
How you say human. Yes, now it's in sound. It's called the snowball.
And just a quick shout out to my friends Durf and Peggy George.
Shout out.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for everybody who's watching. Thank you for your patience in this tough time.
Of course, it worked yesterday.
Of course, it had to work yesterday.
All right, let's try one more time. Doesn't recognize this.
Subscribe to yeah, we're gonna have a snap.
Everyone's watching. Don't say that.
Oh, they are?
Okay, I think we're going to have to use the microphone on the computer. So, all right, we're back on the microphone of the computer. So everyone is going to have to speak really loudly, okay?
Like what we were doing? Or loud?
Okay.
Like this?
Say hello
No,
to
that's-
Jessica
that's it.
Stewart's class.
Hello, Jessica Stewart's class.
Yes, we're so glad they're
Yeah,
here
we're so glad you're here.
in Michigan.
Oh, you guys are from Michigan. Wow.
Yeah.
So
All right.
cool.
All right, I think we're ready.
Alrighty.
Okay. Welcome to the 11th annual Earth Day webcast. Earth Day is celebrated in the U.S. on April 22nd. This year falls on a Sunday. So we're recognizing this day on Friday, April 20th.
For 11 years now, the Earthbridges webcasting community gathers experts in the field, kindergarten to college level students, teachers, and others with an interest in the environment to broadcast live on the internet. This yearly event is called Earthcast and is archived on earthbridges.net.
We're broadcasting on Earthbridges channel of the Webcasted network.
If you're listening live, there's a chat room available to ask questions and share your ideas. You will have to log in as a guest or using social media. Adults and students will be in the chat room, so please be respectful, kind, and helpful. Thank you.
Today we're listening to the 7th grade students at Rye Jr. High School from Rye, New Hampshire in the United States.
To start, we thought we would share how we were set up today. First, this is where all the students are waiting to present. Then if we come around here, there are people who are doing the chat room. These are the chat room people. And everybody has different jobs, just like the cameraman. Here's the cameraman. And tech people and people who set up everything, and obviously the presenters and everything. So that is how we get this Earthcast started. Now, please sit back and enjoy.
It's right there.
Hello. Today I'm going to talk about top 5 most overpopulated animals in the world for Earth Day. Animal populations can be good or bad, but some animals have the largest population. These animals have specific instincts to help them survive and to live. These animals need a downgrade even if it means hunting them. These are some of the most popular animals in the world. This is a list of animals. Number 5, brown garden snail. Number 4, the mouse. Number 3, the krill. Number 2, humans. Number 1, cows. Number 5 is the brown garden snail. These creatures live on plants and anywhere that has moisture. These animals spread because of humans. People say humans cause these animals to move to other countries. These snails mostly get their fed on, but because of their feeding habits, they may be fat. Number 4 is the mouse. This is the mouse, but what people don't know is the mice eat anything to survive. The mice is an animal that is all over the world. In 2017, there were 20 billion mice recorded around the world. 2006, there were 1 trillion. Number 3, the krill. These little things to be in groups of hundreds of thousands. They mainly feed on bacteria. These crustaceans can be a meal for a whale and also us. What people don't know is that these creatures live for 10 years, and that is a lot for a krill. There are more than 6 billion krill in Antarctica. Number 2, humans. We are the second most popular animal. In the world, there are more than 7 billion around the world alone. We have an instinct to always change the earth. We pollute it, we dump stuff in the water, and we think it's okay. For other animals, it is not. Number 1, the cow. Cows are one of the most things people eat around the year. In the world, there are over 14 billion around the world. The animal has become the top of overpopulation. There can be over 100,000 cows that mate in a 2-month period. Negative things animal populations do to the earth. Some of these animals don't even harm the earth, but 2 does. One of them is the mice. A couple years ago in Australia, there was a massive outbreak with mice. There were over 4 billion in the country. The mice wiped out farms. People could not poison anything because of the food. People had to lose money for them to die down. 1 year later, there were only 200,000 mice in Australia. The number one is humans. We have done so many things to this planet. It's torture. People have no love in this planet. People in China have to wear gas masks to all the pollution. People in India have to go around sewers and clean. People in the oceans have oil rigs that has oil in it. The oil kills animals, even kills us. It pollutes the water we drink and the food we eat. Another way we are causing a lot of pollution. Sorry again. About the earth is we pollute almost everything. The air we breathe and the water we drink, and even the food we eat. Another way we hurt earth is people are cutting down thousands of trees and not growing them back. What human population can do to stop changes to an environment? The human population is a part of the world. If we don't do something to do about it, the world could be in sadness. The world is beautiful, but humans don't treat it nicely. There are people in the world that love Earth. Without Earth, we will have no life, no food, or water to survive. The Earth does not provide for only us, even our animals and our trees. The picture you see with South America in the bottom, it shows a massive pollution radius of water that South Americans have to drink. And this is a picture of it. Very interesting. And that is all I have today. Thank you.
Hello, I am Ava, and I'm here to talk about hybrid and electric cars and how they're good for the environment. Fuel efficiency. Why buy a hybrid or electric car when I could get a gas one? Hybrid or electric cars save more fuel and are better for the environment because they have a battery instead of gross gas and carbon dioxide bursting in the air. Hybrid cars have a gas tank and a battery for both uses. The purpose for this is if you're in slow city traffic, you can turn on the battery to prevent idling. Although you would have to plug in a hybrid or electric car more than fill up a gas tank, you would be doing a good thing for the earth by not polluting. How far we've come. The electric and hybrid car industry has come a long way to get where we are now. Almost all of the car companies out there have made an electric or hybrid car such as a Fiat, Toyota, Tesla, Nissan, Chevrolet, and BMW. That is just to name a few. The first electric car was made by a British inventor in 1835 until they found out that it was cheaper to make gasoline cars. The effects of gasoline cars. Gasoline cars are very bad for the environment, bursting carbon dioxide into the air. About 24 pounds of gasoline and bad emissions come out of a car every gallon per day. Things can be improved. China is one of the most polluted countries out there, so let's dig more deeply into the facts and how they are becoming a green country by little. No more gas cars. China has now banned all gasoline cars to create a more green community. But here's the catch. China is still dumping bad stuff like trash and chemicals into their waters. This is the total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by economic sector in 2014. This is how much greenhouse gas emissions are in the air. Vegetable-powered cars. Vegetable oil-powered cars are out there, and a good amount of people have them. Basically, it's just a regular car but fueled on vegetable oil to help the environment. Chargers at our school. Rye Jr. High may be getting new electric car chargers for teachers who have hybrids or electric cars. Our Rye Jr. High also may be getting solar panels on the school's building to generate the computers. Thank you for watching. Happy Earth Day!
Oh, we did have a question. We did have a question about how much vegetable oil would it take to power a car?
I actually do not know that question. I will research it, actually, at the moment right now.
Actually, I know of a friend that had one,
Oh, you
a
did?
veggie diesel car, and and we're gonna give them a quick call,
Okay.
okay?
Right now?
Well, we're gonna call them and come back with the information, all right?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, my name is Haley, and I'm doing Women in Global Change. Cassandra Hansen, African-American mathematician. Ada Lovelace, English mathematician and writer. Heidi Lamar, Austrian-born American film actress and inventor. Eunice Newton Foote, American scientist, inventor, and women's rights campaigner. Also the discoverer of impact for greenhouse gases. Women in science. Each of these 4 women helped to solve our problems facing the world. Johansson made calculations that flew so many people into space. Lovelace made a trail for women to follow in and start doing math on computers. Lamar taught us that you can be both an actress and an inventor. And Newton Foote showed us that even in the 1800s, women still dream big about our Earth. The top 5 countries for gender equality. Number 1 is Iceland, 2 Finland, 3 Norway, 4 Sweden, and 5 Rwanda. U.S. is in 45th place. The women in our workforces. In 2014, women made up 47% of the total workforce. STEM men get paid 31% more than women in STEM jobs with similar experience. Chemists and material scientists made 39% in the workforce, environmental scientists and geoscientists, 29%, chemical engineers, 16%, civil engineers, 12%, and mechanical engineers, 7%.
Hey, we have a question from the chat room about one of the women earlier in your slides. Was she in was she in a movie?
Yeah, was she one of those in that?
Cassandra Hansen?
Yes.
Yes, that is true. I have more information on that later. STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. Anything boys can do, girls can do better. More than 59% of women get PhDs in biology, chemistry, and healthcare, compared to 27% of men. But why do women still get paid less? We can inspire the next generation. Some schools only advocate for mother-son STEM activities. We need to include mother-daughter activities as well. 57% of girls say they don't want a career in STEM. 21% of girls say their parents suggest they become an actress, and 10% of girls say their parents encourage them to become an esteemed career. The one with the greenhouse effect. Newton Foote found out about the greenhouse effect before any man did, but because of sexism, she never got the recognition until centuries later. In 1856, Foote discovered that the carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, the one that helps create Wi-Fi. Lamar was a remarkable woman. She invented frequency hopping, a series of wartime communication systems that avoided third-time callers. But when she went to give the Navy her device, they turned her down, saying, "What do you want to do? Put a player piano inside a torpedo?" In 1997, Lamar finally got recognized for her important work. 3 years later, she had died. Ada Lovelace, along with Charles Babbage, invented the first computer. In the 1820s, from this invention, people could finally do calculations without using their minds. The one with the movie. Cassandra Hansen, along with Dorothy Vaughan and Mary Jackson, all worked at NASA. This photo shows the cast of Hidden Figures at the Oscars with Johansson. So to answer whoever question that was. Do more, be more, start a revolution. We all need to start taking action to create a better world for our kids to live in. The world would be better with more gender equality and more women in STEM fields. How can we achieve this? We had more documentaries about women in science. If women scientists and engineers were paid the same as men, and if we could educate our young girls about STEM fields before they hit middle school. Let's do all of this and more. And then here are my photograph citations. My works cited. More works cited. Right? Thank you.
We had a question
We do?
from chat. So, what is better in your opinion, STEM or STEAM?
That's actually tough. Well, I did STEM because more women go along with STEM careers, while STEAM has more to offer. I'd go with STEM, actually, because it has a lot more to offer, because science, technology, engineering, and math, that is a widespread community-based everything. You can do a lot with all those different things, with all the different letters. So I definitely say STEM. Thank you.
I need to answer the question from the chat room. We called up Miss Adams's friend, and his name is Bill Pelletier, and he said it takes about 1.2 more times the amount of actual diesel. So it's a little bit more. If you had a diesel car, the vegetable oil would be just about 1.2 times more than that. So that is your question. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so I did my presentation on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And so what is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch? Okay. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is in the Pacific Ocean. Where the trash flows the most is called a converge zone, and that is where the warm water meets with the colder water, and then the trash moves. Captain Charles Moore discovered the garbage patch, and it was discovered in 1997. And a lot of the trash in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is microplastic, and it's all like floating in the top of the ocean. And there's also like umbrellas, bottles, and more floating, and it's all on the bottom too. How does it affect the Earth? It's mostly affecting the animals because they think it's food, and then they go to try and eat it, and then they like choke or get like caught in it, and it's bad. How long is it? It goes from North America to Japan, and all the trash is moving around everywhere, and it's making it like the water really nasty and stuff. Okay, so some of the trash that ended up there is in 1992, thousands of rubber duckies were lost in the Pacific Ocean. This means thousands and thousands of animals choked, like when they ate it. In 1990, 5 huge containers of shoes were lost in the ocean, and in 1994, a ship lost 34,000 pieces of hockey gear in the ocean. How can we fix this problem? First things first, just stop littering. Just go around and pick up like 10 pieces of trash every day. Try to recycle and reduce the amount of things you use and reuse. What can you do to help? Reuse plastic bags that you have. Instead of using plastic bags, you can use reusable bags. Buy milk and paper cartons, not plastic. And use reusable water bottles. Who is it affecting the most? It's hurting the animals and Earth the most. How much is there actually? There's 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean, and 269,000 pieces are floating on the top of the surface.
Brianna? Yeah, we have a question from the chat room.
Okay, what's the question?
How does all this garbage find its way into the ocean?
Okay, so like, even if you like throw something, it can plastic bag can like fly, and then like I don't mean it can blow in the wind, and then it can like end up in the ocean, and like when boats are like traveling, and fishing, it can end up in the ocean like lobster nets and like other things like that. And yeah, the plastic bags are everywhere and harming animals in the earth. So reuse plastic bags, and Allie will elaborate on that more.
One second. I'm Allie, and my topic was why are plastic bags bad for the environment and animals? Plastic bags or fabric bags? Would you rather use plastic bags or fabric bags? You'd probably say plastic bags, and I would too. You get them free at the grocery store while you have to pay for fabric bags. Now that I've done all this research, I changed my mind. Wildlife. Plastic bags break down into the soil, and animals eat them. The bags contain chemicals which poison animals. The result is they either choke or die. Because plastic bags don't break down, it fills their stomachs and makes them starve to death. Many who swallow them get long, slow food for death. For example, many cows have 50 or more bags in their digestive system. This is a photo of a sea turtle, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. One animal that dies from plastic bags are sea turtles. Sea turtles mistake plastic bags for jellyfish. 100,000 sea turtles / marine animals die thinking the bags are food or get shingled in them. In 2015, University of Queensland said 69% of the sea turtles eat in plastic bags, but recently they said 52%. Clogged sewage systems are bad for the environment in many ways. They can damage cars, buildings, roof water from properly draining, and form clots to block the water from flowing, and it becomes clogged, which forces the sewage systems to be closed until water drains. Here's some images of our environment. They're bad for our environment because it takes 400 years at least for them to get broken down. It gets into the soil and slowly releases toxic chemicals. Part of the reason is it leads to the longest lifespan, how long the lifespan is. No one knows how many plastic bags are littering the planet, but a small percentage uses for other reasons. Aesthetic decline is when you look at something that is pleasing and nice, and then there's like a plastic bag, and then it makes it all like look that nice anymore. But that is when a trash bag is on the ground. Scientists long know that natural landscapes provide a wealth of benefits. What I mean is it makes an impact on human health, culture, and climate. More information about plastic bags are they estimate 500 billion plastic bags all around this globe this year. 6 to 100 million barrels of oil go to years of plastic bags worldwide. The percentage ends up polluting natural habits, and plastic bags make their way into rivers, lakes, or oceans usually. And here's my works cited. And here's my works cited from my image. And thank you.
We have a great team here.
Yes.
We can move the two. And since we're still not mirroring. Okay.
All right. Hi, I'm Gabby. So today I'm going to be talking about endangered species, factors, and what we can do to help them. So right now I have a little poster here, and I used a makey to do this, which is this lovely contraption here. So how it works is it's like a mini controller. So you put the wires in here, and then we have a piece of tinfoil connected to here. So you put your finger in a little bit of tinfoil, and then you press a piece of copper tape.
Endangered species.
Like that.
Factors and what we can do to help them.
Maybe we can zoom in and see that. And we've got some copper tape, right, around the edges.
Copper tape here, and clamps, and tinfoil, and then it all connects to
Endangered
here.
species. Factors and what we can do to help them. Using one species could disrupt an entire ecosystem. Some more things that go into making an animal be endangered are habitat loss, hunting and poaching, invasive species, disease, climate change, and pollution.
So to make this, I used a program called Scratch, and it looks something like that. And so you use a vent. So you can click on something that says when space key is clicked or another key, and then you can record a sound, and then you connect those two together. And then if you put the earth in here, this is where the tinfoil connects to. So I'll just put it in more. Technical difficulties.
Okay, is that because, is the computer asleep now?
No, everything's awake and she's on turning it on. Wait, try this one.
So this happens frequently, right? All right, we have a question while we're doing
They
this?
said try switching it to a tiny URL and see if it works.
Oh, okay, because we're having difficulty getting Earthbridges to show up in Twitter, and I had that problem earlier too. So I think that's what they're talking about, finding a tiny URL. All right, so do you want to unplug and plug it in again? This is where problem solving happens, right? And do you want to show them the code?
Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, you can mirror it.
There we
There
go.
it is. All right. So you can go to events here, and then I click on these. So then you can change that to up arrow, down arrow, right arrow, left arrow, space, and then you can also do all of the letters. So then you go to sounds. There. And then all the sounds you recorded, you can put it into, you can change the sound and then you attach it to the event. And then if you plug this thing into the makey, and then you put the wires in and the copper tape, and then it connects the energy, the circuit. So, boom, and then it works. So, thank you.
Do you want to put your computer on the desk? Please. Okay, but then put it in there.
Hi, my name is Cole. I'm doing new light technology. Fun fact, did you know that 90% of the time people are below artificial light? Types of light, camera light, incandescent, CFL, also known as compound fluorescent light, which is this. LED, also known as light emitting diode. History. Incandescent light bulbs, the oldest type of bulb, round with filament inside. These compound fluorescent spiral shape. LED, light emitting diode. In school, we have straight fluorescent lights. What is Energy Star? Energy Star is certified bulbs that use less energy so they cost less to operate. And less energy means fewer greenhouse emissions. Fewer greenhouse gas emissions. Tell if a bulb is good, you need a light sensor. Hold the sensor 3 feet above the ground level for kilowatt. To compare different light bulbs, you need to know about lumens. The lumens to watts tell you how bright a light bulb is, no matter the type of bulb. This is a watt comparison table. This can tell you how many watts are in a bulb. So incandescent, 150 watts. LED, it ranges from this. Do CFL or LED bulbs last longer? Although LED technology for use in bulbs has not been on the market for long, the lifespan estimates for the new technology are astounding and leave CFL and incandescents with little to show for a comparison. With an astonishing lifespan of 25,000 hours, LED light bulbs are undisputed. Heavyweight champion and lawn fitting. The next best are CFL bulbs, which range a respectful 8,000 hours of average life expectancy. Keep in mind, most tests are based on a running time of 3 hours per day. So my thing, I say the best bulb to get is LED. Thank you.
Okay, so I am doing nanoscience, that's what I said. And my name is Hello, I'm doing nanoscience. My name is Evan. So, what is nanoscience? Nanoscience is the study or application of extremely small things. It can be used in chemistry, biology, physics, materials science, and engineering. The ideas or concept behind it started with a talk called "There's Plenty of Room at the Bottom" by physicist Richard Feynman. It was a talk on December 29th, 1959. How big is a nanometer? So a nanometer is 25,400,000 nanometers in an inch, which is a lot. So a newspaper is about 100,000 nanometers thick. On a comparative scale, if a marble is 1 nanometer, then a meter is the size of the Earth. 1 nanometer is a billionth of a meter, which is 10 to the negative 9. A nanoscale, like the width of the nano measurements, is 1 to 100 nanometers. So products that use nanotechnology is sunscreen. All sunscreens carries zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. It absorbs and reflects UV light. It is clear on the skin, and it is more stable, and it's less reapplication. The particles are so small that they behave differently. So it won't irritate your skin as much. It feels lighter on the skin. It could be a problem for people with thinner skin or skin diseases because the nanoparticles are so small that they can seep into the skin and can cause stomach. The immune system attacks it if it comes through the skin, which I learned, so it's probably not that bad. I'm kind of skeptical that it doesn't get into your skin, which I. Another product that uses nanotechnology is socks or t-shirts with nano silver. So nano silver are very, very small pieces of silver. And nano silver actually kills bacteria, and it is strongly antibacterial. This is a sock that carries nano silver. Okay. It prevents occurrence of dermal infections. And it is non-toxic to humans, although it is toxic to animals. That's good. And that is the positives. And the negatives now are nanosilver from t-shirts and socks are getting washed into the environment. So it gets washed into the rivers, which kills the fish. So this can be reduced by washing it less than the conventional ones due to its antimicrobial properties. And that's my side done that. Thank you.
We're all trying to remember that the microphone's on the computer. But once you get into the presentation, it's hard to remember to keep your voice up, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're so concentrated.
Right.
My name is August, and I will be talking about red tide. Can red tide affect people? Red tide can affect people. Many people get rashes and irritation in the eyes. It can also include vomiting, headache, and the chills. Most people get just a slight cold from being around red tide, but it mostly depends on the person. And right here is like a diagram to show the symptoms you would get from red tide. What is red tide? Red tide is a microscopic algae that kills animals and is very toxic. This algae turns the water red. The toxin it releases enters the fish's nervous system and paralyzes them, which then causes the fish to suffocate. Where is red tide? Red tide mainly happens in New Mexico or Florida, but as you can probably tell from the map over right here, red tide occurs in multiple places, but in some places it is worse than others.
August, there's a question in the chat room.
Okay.
Everyone has picked such great subjects. Do we get red tide here in Rye?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but I will do further search on that.
And we'll try to get back by the end of this presentation.
Yes. Okay. And on this map it shows like there's red dots like where red tide is. When does red tide occur? Red tide blooms every year in the Gulf of Mexico in late summer or early fall. In Florida, it occurs almost every summer along the coast. So it mostly depends on where you are. Any places have it, just not as strong as Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. How can we help prevent red tide? Right here is a diagram to show the prevention of red tide diagram. There's many ways to prevent you from getting red tide, but we can also try to prevent red tide from even happening. In order to prevent us from getting red tide, you should just stay away from the red tide water. Who does red tide affect? It suffocates the fish and paralyzes them. It can affect humans and gives humans cold-like symptoms. This is my works cited. And yeah, that's. We have an answer in whether Rye, New Hampshire has red tide.
Red tide will only make you sick if you eat shellfish that aren't contaminated. There's the answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to give a shout out to Mrs. Worth that's in the chat room too.
Miss Worth?
Yeah, she's
Hi,
watching.
Miss Worth. Oh, you gotta
Lots of
say-
smiles on their faces.
Oh, I'm just. Oh, we have sorry to interrupt, but we have another question.
All right, and I think she can answer. She'll type it in the
Yes.
chat room.
Okay.
All right, my name is Tyler, and I'll be talking to you about geothermal energy. All right, so in a brief definition, geothermal energy is taking heat from below the surface in hot water or rock to get cold water or air conditioning. To get cold water or air conditioning, the geothermal heat pump or the GHP will take the warm air and absorb it and then take the cold air from the ground and transfer it into your house and through your ventilation systems. There are three types of closed loop heat pumps, also known as GHPs. The first one is a horizontal. It is most effective when you have a large amount of wind, and usually it is needed to have a 4-foot hole trench. The next one is a vertical loop system. This is particularly used in schools and commercial buildings. The horizontal loops are not allowed in those kinds of systems. The vertical loops are usually used when the ground soil is shallow. They're usually done 20 feet wide and 100 to 400 feet deep. The last closed loop system is the pond and lake system, which is the cheapest of the three. The pipe is run about 8 feet under the water, so it does not freeze. There isn't a certain width it has to be. It's on very It is also easier to set up a pond geothermal heat pump because of the size difference. Right, and then
There's an open loop system which is directly connected to a groundwater source, for example, a well or a pond, and immediately pumps the water into a building to the heat pump unit where it is used for heating and cooling. There are many ways that open loop geothermal systems can dispose of water. This is my bibliography, and thank you for watching my presentation. I hope that some of you can switch to going green with geothermal energy. My family is almost completely eco-friendly, and the geothermal energy makes a big impact because burning oil and fossil fuels can be very dangerous and bad for our environment and here on Earth. Hope you all have an amazing Earth.
Hello, I am Dylan, and my topic for Earth Day are the 5 extinctions. Do you guys know what this bird is?
No, I do not.
What
is that bird? Dylan?
If you guessed the passenger pigeon, then you are correct. Passenger pigeons are responsible for 40% of the bird species. If it was not for them, other birds would be here today. It was estimated that there were once 3 to 5 million or billion of them when the Europeans discovered America. That is a lot of birds. Do you know what animal this is?
Dolphin.
River dolphin.
If you guessed the bongee, you are correct. The bongee. They were alive for 20 million years in the Yangtze River, China. The bongee's demise were what? Go back. Don't look at those. Don't look at those. Don't. Okay. No. Sorry. Okay.
So I don't know if you noticed that Dylan is using Makey to make the computer work. And I think probably touched too many pieces.
Probably.
Right, okay.
They were alive for 20 million years in the Yangtze River, China. The bongee's demise were rapid and shocking. It went from a healthy population of some 6,000 animals to extinct in a few decades. Nothing more than a blink of an eye. That's fast. Do you know what animal this is?
Western black rhino.
If you guessed the western black rhino, then you are correct. Sorry, I forgot to add some more to this.
Oh, I can add some more.
The western black rhinos. Yes. Do you know what animal this is?
Java tiger.
Bengal tiger.
If you guessed the Javan tiger, then you are correct. They once were a thriving species in Java. The Javans started to hunt them for money. That is something humans should not do. Do you know what animal this is?
It has 2 names: the Tasmanian tiger or the Tasmanian wolf.
Bingo schmingo.
Dylan, we have a question from the chat room.
Yes.
From Mrs. Harrington's class.
Okay.
How did you know that the dolphin was alive that long ago?
I looked it up in one of my websites that I used.
Beautiful.
We'll find it later, because we're running out of time, so we need to move
The
on.
Tasmanian tiger. They were a beautiful species, but they were all slaughtered. They would be around today if it was not for us. Humans are why life is dying. We should protect other species. I know I spelled dying and slaughter wrong, but it's all good. Everything's cool. And these are the websites that I got the information from. If you would like to look at them, I'll have them up here for a few more seconds so you can look at them, or you can ask in the chat. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I think you it's all good.
Okay, moving right along. Let's actually. We have a couple of questions in the chat, so we're going to try to answer them in the chat because we are running late with this class. So much information. So,
Miss Adams.
So Peggy has a question. Will we be sharing presentations on the website so they can see them up close and see great resources that we found?
Good question. We're heading off to vacate. Will these presentations be available online? And that's a good question. We actually head out for vacation right after this, but maybe when we get back, we can try to put links together. That's what we should do. Make a Google form and put links there and then make that form available. So we will try to do that.
All right, my name is Flynn, and my project is hydraulic fracturing, or fracking. What is fracking? Fracking is when you drill thousands of feet into the earth through the water table, sediment, and through shale to get to the oils in the ground. Once the holes are in the ground, they start a process known as cement casting. This process is act as a conduit for the many gallons of water. They then extract the oil. What does fracking do to the earth? Although it may be an effective and efficient way to get oil and gases, it is a major offender of air pollution in the ozone layer. And due to the causing of the greenhouse effect on the ozone layer because of the heat and the methane gases that is exported into the atmosphere when it is in play, fracking can cause fires due to gas leaks, and fracking causes pollution to nearby waterways and water wells. What are the pros of fracking? Although it may be bad for the environment, the public health of citizens, there are some pros of hydraulic fracturing. Because of the less gas and oils we have, the prices of these needed fuels are raising a lot because of the decreasing amount of natural gases and oils. Because of fracking, the prices have stayed at a steady rate because of how there are more opportunities to get these needed items. What does fracking do to our health? Fracking can cause many different things to happen to the world and our bodies, like seizures and loss of consciousness. If you are working with fracking, you can get permanent lung damage and also even burns due to natural gas flares. And this is my work site.
We did have one more video that we're going to show actually at recess because one of the students is absent, Ava, and she left a video, so we'll do that shortly.
You've been listening to the 7th grade Blue Science class. Up next is Green Science class. We'll be taking a quick break to stop the stream and archive this portion of the show.
This window will now show the recorded material. Our next live show will be in the window underneath this one. We will be back shortly.
Good job, team.